In a twist no one saw coming, tragedy has struck again in the life of late Chinese actor Yu Menglong's family. Just weeks after the heartbreaking loss that shook fans across Asia, Yu Menglong's mother was found unconscious in her Shanghai home and rushed to the hospital in critical condition. What really happened that night? Why did her neighbors report hearing her talking to her late son's voice? And what did doctors find that made even the nurses burst into tears? Stay tuned, because this story isn't just tragic, it's chilling, mysterious, and filled with signs that have left fans wondering if something supernatural is at play. Now let's dive into the shocking details of what happened after Yu Menglong's death and the terrifying events that led to his mother's sudden collapse. It had been 23 days since the passing of beloved actor Yu Menglong, and though the world had slowly begun to move on, one person couldn't: his mother, Mrs. Yu Lianhua. Friends said she barely ate. She stopped attending the memorial gatherings fans held for her son. Most days, her curtains remained closed, the once bright home turned into a dim shrine. Candles flickered under her son's portrait, and incense smoke hung heavy in the air. Neighbors noticed she started speaking softly to herself at night. Some said they heard her whispering, "Menglong, are you home?" while others claimed to hear her humming his favorite childhood lullaby near midnight. At first, everyone thought it was grief, the kind that breaks a mother from the inside out. But no one imagined that grief would soon lead to a night that would send chills down everyone's spine. It happened on a rainy Wednesday evening. The security guard of the complex noticed something strange: the lights in Mrs. Yu's apartment flickering rapidly on and off. It wasn't a power issue, every other building had power. When he called her number, no one picked up. Her neighbor, Mrs. Chen, decided to check. She knocked once. No response. She knocked again, louder this time, shouting, "Auntie Yu. It's Mrs. Chen. Are you all right?" Then came the faintest sound: a woman sobbing behind the door. Mrs. Chen immediately called the building supervisor, and together they unlocked the door. What they found inside made her scream. There, on the living room floor, was Mrs. Yu, lying motionless beside her son's framed photograph. The incense was still burning. The TV was on, playing an old drama of Yu Menglong. And next to her hand was an opened voice recorder. When paramedics arrived, they pressed play. The voice that came out made everyone freeze. It was Yu Menglong's voice. Soft, calm, and eerily recent. He was saying, "Mom, don't cry anymore. I'm still here." One of the paramedics immediately stopped the tape, shaken. "Where did she get this?" he muttered. They rushed her to Shanghai People's Hospital, but her condition was critical. Reports say she suffered a severe stress-induced collapse, her pulse was weak, her breathing shallow. Doctors described it as a physical reaction to prolonged emotional trauma. But what came next turned a medical emergency into a nationwide mystery. When Mrs. Yu was taken into the emergency room, the lights suddenly went out for exactly 17 seconds, a number that fans later noted matched the day of Yu Menglong's passing. Nurses recalled feeling a sudden drop in temperature. One even said she saw a shadowy silhouette near the window before the lights came back on. At that same moment, Mrs. Yu reportedly murmured her son's name even though she was completely unconscious. Doctors were stunned. Her body was unresponsive, said one of them. Yet her lips moved as if she was calling out to someone. Word spread fast. Within hours, the hospital entrance was surrounded by fans holding candles and flowers. Social media erupted with the hashtag #PrayForYuMenglong'sMother, which trended across China and beyond. But while the public prayed, one person came forward with a story that made the situation even more chilling. Mrs. Yu's housekeeper, Aunt Mai, revealed that 2 days before the incident, she had heard something strange in the house. "I was cleaning the hallway," Aunt Mai said in tears, "and I heard young Master Menglong's voice coming from his mother's room. It sounded like he was comforting her. I froze. The voice was clear, too clear." When asked if she had recordings or proof, Aunt Mai showed her phone. She had captured a short 9-second video accidentally while dusting. In it, a faint male voice says, "Mom, please rest." Experts were divided. Some said it was just a recorded clip from an interview or show. Others, including a well-known sound engineer, analyzed the clip and claimed that the voice frequency didn't match any of Yu Menglong's public recordings. Could it be possible that Mrs. Yu had captured her late son's voice after his passing? The internet went wild. Conspiracy theories exploded. Some fans claimed that Yu Menglong's spirit was still protecting his mother, while skeptics believed she had simply hallucinated under intense emotional strain. But then something else happened that blurred the line between grief and the supernatural. At 2:47 a.m., the same night Mrs. Yu was hospitalized, the hospital's CCTV cameras caught a power fluctuation in her room. The footage, though partially blurry, showed what looked like a faint human shape standing near her bed. The hospital refused to release the full video, calling it an internal matter, but screenshots leaked online. Fans immediately identified the silhouette as eerily resembling Yu Menglong, his height, his hair outline, even the way he stood with one hand in his pocket, exactly like in his last public appearance. Coincidence? One fan wrote. Or a son keeping his final promise? That morning, Mrs. Yu regained partial consciousness. She didn't speak for hours, just stared blankly at the ceiling. When her sister finally arrived and held her hand, she whispered, "He was here last night. He said goodbye." Doctors said it was likely a dream. But those who knew her swore she wasn't the kind of person to imagine things. Her condition improved slightly, but she remained fragile. 4 days, reporters camped outside the hospital. One even claimed to have seen a white butterfly landing on Mrs. Yu's window every morning at exactly 8:12, the time when Yu Menglong was born. And then came the final, most shocking twist. On the 30th day after her son's death, the hospital staff planned a small remembrance service for Yu Menglong, placing flowers beside his mother's bed. A nurse lit a candle, and just as she did, the hospital fire alarm went off, even though there was no fire. The lights flickered again, the same as that night. When everything settled, the candle had gone out by itself, but a faint outline of a smile appeared on the photo frame beside her bed, captured accidentally in the background of a nurse's selfie. Was it lighting? Or something else entirely? Mrs. Yu opened her eyes that evening and smiled faintly. "He's okay now," she said softly. "He told me to live." Since then, she's been recovering slowly under medical observation. She no longer keeps the house closed off. Instead, she's said to have reopened her curtains and placed her son's photo near sunlight so he can shine every day, she told a close friend. But many people still wonder about the strange signs, the recordings, the blackout, the shadow in the CCTV. Were they just coincidences? Or was it a final message from a son to his grieving mother, telling her it's time to heal? One thing is certain, the story of Yu Menglong's mother has become one of the most hauntingly emotional real-life mysteries in recent memory. Fans continue to leave letters and flowers outside his old filming locations, writing messages like, "Your light still shines. Take care of your mom from above. Love never dies." And maybe, that's the truth behind it all, a love too powerful to fade, even beyond the grave. Before you go, what do you think about this? Was Mrs. Yu's experience a supernatural connection with her late son, or just the result of unbearable grief? Could the mysterious voice recording and the hospital blackout have a logical explanation, or do you believe there's something more at play? The hospital corridors were unusually quiet that night. The soft hum of machines and the rhythmic beeping of monitors echoed down the hall as nurses whispered to each other, their eyes occasionally darting toward room 507, the room where Yu Menglong's mother lay unconscious. It had been just a few hours since she was brought in, but already, strange stories were circulating among the staff. One nurse swore she heard someone call her name softly when she entered the room, even though no one else was there. Another said the temperature in that room kept dropping, so cold that her hands trembled as she adjusted the oxygen mask. But what truly shook them was the voice recording paramedics had found beside her at home, the one that played Yu Menglong's voice saying, "Mom, don't cry anymore. I'm still here." Everyone kept asking the same haunting question: how could a dead man's voice sound so recent, so alive? As the night deepened, doctors worked tirelessly. They said she'd been unconscious for nearly an hour before the neighbors found her. Her blood pressure had dropped dangerously low, her pulse weak as if her heart itself had given up. Meanwhile, outside the hospital, fans began to gather. News had spread like wildfire. Reporters camped by the gate, flashing cameras and microphones at anyone who looked like a relative. Some fans cried openly, holding posters of Yu Menglong's smiling face. Others prayed quietly, clutching candles despite the light drizzle. A live streamer on Douyin captured the moment an elderly woman, a relative of Mrs. Yu, arrived, her eyes red and swollen. "She hasn't spoken since they brought her in," the woman said. "She just stopped wanting to live after Menglong left." Back in room 507, the monitor suddenly beeped louder. Mrs. Yu's hand twitched. A nurse gasped, calling for the doctor. For a brief second, it looked like she was waking up, but then, something else happened. The hospital lights flickered again, the exact same way they had when she was first brought in. The power didn't go out completely, but for several seconds the room dimmed, and the heart monitor began tracing strange patterns, 3 quick beats, then silence, then 3 more. One nurse whispered, "It's like he's trying to say something." Moments later, Mrs. Yu's lips moved. Her eyes remained closed, but the words came out soft and trembling. "Don't leave yet, just 1 more minute." The nurse froze. She leaned closer, thinking maybe Mrs. Yu was talking in her sleep. But then she heard her whisper again, this time clearer, "I heard you. You said you're still here." The nurse screamed for the doctor. By morning, her condition had stabilized slightly, but the incident left the entire ward unsettled. The hospital director ordered all CCTV footage from room 507 reviewed. When they played the recording, what they saw defied explanation. At exactly 2:47 a.m., a faint shimmer appeared near the corner of the room. It wasn't a full figure, more like a shadow shifting, almost human-shaped. The reflection moved toward Mrs. Yu's bed, paused for 3 seconds, and then disappeared as the lights flickered. The technicians checked the system for glitches, nothing. The timestamp and power readings were normal. When the video leaked online the next day, it went viral within minutes. Some viewers claimed it was just camera distortion. Others were convinced it was Yu Menglong's spirit, watching over his mother one last time. On Weibo, the hashtag #YouMenglong'S Mother Mystery trended with millions of posts. Fans analyzed every frame of the video, pointing out the outline of what they believed to be his silhouette, tall, calm, with one hand resting in his pocket, exactly like his signature pose in interviews. Meanwhile, Mrs. Yu remained under sedation. Doctors said she was in a fragile state, both physically and emotionally. But something about her presence in that room made everyone uneasy. The cleaner assigned to the ward refused to enter alone after claiming she smelled incense in the room every morning, the same scent Mrs. Yu used to light for her son at home. Reporters tried to piece together her final hours before being found unconscious. According to neighbors, she had been seen that evening standing by her window, holding her son's favorite photo. The rain had started, but she didn't move. Around 9 p.m., a loud thud was heard, but no one checked until much later when the lights began to flicker. When paramedics arrived, her phone was still recording a voice memo, but here's where things get eerie. The recording contained a faint melody in the background, a lullaby. Later analysis revealed it matched a song Yu Menglong himself composed years ago but never released. It wasn't available publicly, yet somehow it was playing in that moment. By the 3rd day, Mrs. Yu regained partial consciousness. Her sister, sitting beside her, burst into tears and held her hand. "Jie, it's me," she whispered. "Can you hear me?" Mrs. Yu slowly opened her eyes, her gaze unfocused but calm. Then, in a fragile voice, she said, "He told me not to be afraid. He said, he'll visit me only once more." The entire room fell silent. Even the doctor froze. From that moment on, she began improving rapidly. Her vitals strengthened, and she started eating again. When asked later if she remembered what happened, she only smiled weakly and said, "Some goodbyes aren't meant to be sad. They're meant to bring peace." But to this day, no one has been able to explain how the voice recorder played that message, or how the hospital's lights and monitors behaved so strangely. Some say it's all coincidence. Others believe it's something deeper, a mother's bond so powerful that even death couldn't silence it. And as for the mysterious figure in the CCTV footage, the hospital later deleted the video, citing privacy reasons. But a screenshot continues to circulate online, a blurry yet undeniable image of a figure leaning near Mrs. Yu's bedside, as if whispering a final farewell. Even now, weeks later, people still visit the hospital's garden at night, leaving white lilies and candles under her window. Some claim that when the wind blows softly through the trees, they can hear faint humming, the same tune from that unreleased song. Perhaps it's just the sound of the night. Or perhaps it's something more, a reminder that love never really dies, it just changes form. If this story moved you as much as it moved us, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more heartfelt, mysterious stories that touch the soul and keep you thinking long after the video ends. Now, tell me, what do you believe happened that night? Was it just a coincidence, or did Yu Menglong truly reach out to his mother from beyond? And what about that voice recording? How do you think it was possible? Drop your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Let's talk about it, because this story, it's far from over.